Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a new video here for you. This is a 2005 Nissan Pathfinder. The customer complaint is he's driving on 25 miles per hour and the car stalls like out of the blue, no signs of like nothing else. It's just like you turn off the car and then he realized that the brakes are hard, steering is hard, so that's the only complaint that we have. We have the check engine light on. So I'm gonna jump on the vehicle and we're gonna show you guys how to diagnose this. So I don't know nothing else yet. So let's go from here. I hope you guys like the video and it comes to something good, right? Alright, so for this one I'm gonna be using the Maxxis Elite. I have just a car with the ignition on, and I'm gonna identify the vehicle. So for this you click in here and then auto detect, see if the scanner detect the car. Most likely will. This is a wireless module and also reprogramming, as you can see in there, so no wires on the scanner itself. It's a Bluetooth device. So let's see what we got here. This is a little slow. I mean, it's trying to gather information from the module to see which car is and the VIN number. Hopefully 2005 on Nissan will do it. And of course the ignition is on. Come on. So Nissan. And let's see at least the 4 last digit of the VIN. And it's a 6010, so that's it. So we click OK. So it is a Pathfinder 2005. We can click yes. Diagnosis, and we're gonna pick up a control unit because I think this is engine related. Well, this engine computer related. We're gonna first read the code to see what is in here on the memory, and then depends on what we see, we will check the freeze frame data. Alright, so let's read the codes. And we have the P0340 camshaft sensor circuit bank 1. I think this bottom in here is supposed to show you the freeze frame, and it does. So this happens, that's the percentage on the fuel trims. Let me see if we get anything that can actually help us. Well, we know that the car was kind of like warm. The vehicle speed was 13.67 miles per hour. So it's like he said, he was driving just, like pretty much in idle, and this happens. So let's get out of here. The car is running right now, so we are talking about the camshaft position on the bank 1. Let me start the vehicle so you guys can hear it too. So start right off. So let's find out exactly where this sensor is located, and let's do a couple of tests on the wiring, connection, signals, and we go from there. So let me turn the video off and go into the engine. What I do first before I go to the engine is let's check the input signals on the computer, see what this computer is reading from the cam sensor. So let's see if we can pick up that one from this list. Just looking for cams and probably crank sensor. So it's not on this list. So let's go back and see main signals. Not either here. And let's go to all signals, see if we got anything in there. Trying to see if we, Nissan gives us something like, like cam sync or, crank sync, like see if we got anything like that. And nope, so we're gonna have to go to the sensor like I said before. Alright, so let me pause the video and get on the engine part. Okay, I located information for the testing. This is the wire diagram, OEM wire diagram. This is the bank 1 camshaft sensor. So we have a red wire which should be feeding us battery power when the ignition is on through the ECM relay. Then we have light blue, which will be our signal. Sorry for the image again. Light blue, which will be the signal going to the computer, and then we will have a ground, which is a brown wire. Let me show you also how I difference one phaser or one camshaft sensor from the other one. So this is also good information. It says this should be a signal from 1 to 4 volts. I guess a square wave, that's what they're trying to set. I'm not sure if it's from 1 to 4 or from 0 to 4, so we'll see that on the sensor. It looks like it's a 1 to 4. Now let me go over to the bank 2 side, because they have the same red, the same brown. That's the power and the ground, and then the only difference will be a yellow wire for the signal to the computer. Okay, these camshaft sensors are located on the back of the car. Back of the engine, right at the back of the cylinder head. So I'm gonna put a mirror because that's the only way I will be able to show you guys where these are located. So that's an injector. See if I can find it again, because it's a little hard to find. Okay, it's right there. So hopefully that is going into the image. That's as best as I can from here. So it's right at the back of the heads of the cylinder head. This is the driver's side. Should be bank 2 on this car, as far as wiring color shows me, because let's see if I can move the hose a little bit. Microphone, so I'm not holding it. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, this is the wiring right here for the sensor. Focus the camera. Sometimes it's hard. Okay, so let me pull the insulation a little bit away. Alright, so I think that's gonna be the best shot that I'm gonna be. Let me make a zoom. So I think the camera light is not helping too much. So we have in there a red, a yellow, and a brown, as you can see. And this is the easy one to get to it. So brown, yellow, and red. As far as the OEM wire diagram, it's telling me that is bank 2. So brown, yellow, and red. That's not the one we're looking for. So we bring the wire diagram to the one we're testing. So that will be brown, red, and light blue. And that one is just, super hard. I have already my scope connected to the red wire, which should be the power. That is under there. We have like it's a coolant temperature sensor right there. You might be able to see the sensor. That's the one. Let me point it with my finger. The light. Let me get a light here. 1 second, guys. Okay, as you can see, I got that red wire with my pin in. That's the bank 1 camshaft sensor. The light on my head, 1 second. Okay, and I got the scope done, ready for it. I'm using the Pico scope for 425 on my barrel's edge. Just for convenience, it's easier to use. Let me go back to where it was. So scope is running. I have already set it up for 5 volts, which probably that's not correct. Well, actually, it's coming from a fuse, so it might be a 12 volts. So let's raise this up to a 20 volts, plus minus. So let me set up the ignition on, and we should have power in there if my pin is set up correctly. Alright, so ignition is on. I'm using the ground on the battery terminal, and yes, we have 12 volts, so that's fine. So we have a good power. I mean, we know that the car is running, so I am not suspecting to have a problem with this like this, but my next test will be on the signal, because I think what is happening on this car is that is getting, you know, the normal problem with the cam sensor. They get you know, warm and they start to cut out. So I'm gonna check the ground. This is just a normal procedure you had to do. Check the power, check the ground, and check the signal. So I'm going to move now the pin over to the ground, and I will get you back guys in there. And I forgot to test is okay, you have to check that power with, you know, loaded. Let's say, you know, the car is running and we're not losing the battery. We have some spikes in there. I'm gonna just call that aliases. The Pico is telling me the channel is over range, so probably for those spikes in there. So let me change that to a bigger scale to see what are we looking at in here. So yeah, some of those spikes are reaching like probably 25 or so, but that's just a spike. So let's just call that noise, because I'm using the battery ground for this. So let me go over to the ground side. Alright, I moved my pin onto the ground wire, which is the brown. Sorry for that again. It's a little hard to show, but you guys saw where the connection is, and I'm in the brown wire. So I have 0 volts, but I'm still reading those spikes. So see if I can pick up another. I think that's probably chop noise, because even with my ground disconnected, I'm still seeing that. Yeah, I'm using a block ground and I still see that. So it's not the battery. Turn my light off so it's not on the screen. It's so hard to pick up this with this stylus that it's not gonna give me. Big spikes in there. And the ground is 110 millivolts running. That's okay. Let me turn the vehicle. Sorry, I put the microphone away, and this is a directional microphone. So what I was saying is we got those spikes in there. There's a weird spikes. I'm going to call that aliases, or I don't know. It's kind of weird that they're like in the channel with or without the ground connected. Let me see if I change the time base. 20 milliseconds. See, it's just spikes down and spikes up, but let me see what we got there. Can we zoom into that? This is the reason why I like to use the Snap-on for this. So this is kind of weird. This is a weird signal. It's definitely affecting the ground. You can see here. Come on. Just measuring in there, we get like almost 1 volt on the ground. That's no good. Car is running good. So let's not analyze this. Let me turn the car off. Let me run this back. See how the ground looks on with the car not running. And we are, yeah, pretty much in 0. So let's zoom in. Let's go down in voltage so we can do this better. Let's go to like 1 volt. So it is definitely a good ground, at least, you know, with the vehicle off, which that's not the way you're supposed to check it, but we already had it running. It is hard to do with this big pen that Snap-on gave you as a stylus. Sometimes the finger works better. So we got 5 millivolts, so that is as small as you can go. So definitely is very good. Those spikes are weird. Alright, let's go over to the signal wire to see what we see in there, and then we take a decision to even take into account those spikes as a problem or not. Because I see, you know, look at with this mirror that's cam sensor is leaking. So I don't see it leaking through the connector. It's leaking more through like the O-ring onto the head, but I will have to take it out and inspect it better because it's very hard to see, especially where this one is located. So let me check the signal, guys. Yeah, I am connected to the signal wire, and it's not as the information told me. We have a 0 to, looks like around 12 volts. See if I can, let me stop this just to check what the size of that signal is. So yeah, 1140. And it's coming from it's called a 0 because I'm not even in the 0 yet, but come on. I think we can do this here too. Go this 0 and enter. So we're a little bit over 0 as you can see here, so let's zoom a little bit in there. We have 2 lines in there. Yeah. So let me close these ones up. Do this again. I've been able to pick it up. Okay, now I have it. So yeah, this is impossible to do with the stylus. So let's put like 100 millivolts. see what it does. Going like 100 volts. And then what happened there? I lost the cursor. It's so hard to get it. Starting to get, annoying by that. Alright, so we have it. We're gonna call that right there. So it's like a little less than 200 millivolts. So it's from 0 to 12 waveform. So let's make that run again. Let's take the zoom off and let's make this time a little longer. So let's go to like 200 millivolts. I mean milliseconds, maybe not too much. 50. Just want to see, more of the waveform. So the waveform looks good. It has no drops except for those weird spikes that we see, and we see them in everywhere. So this information is a little weird. So they're telling me to check it out, the L wire. So specification data are reference values and are measured between each terminal and in ground. Pole signal is measured by console 2. So that is weird. See the values in here, they're telling me like 1 to 4, and they have a 5 volts per division, 20 milliseconds per division. So that is weird. They are checking the L terminal. Wire color light, and that is, as you can see right here, is if you see is the light blue 33. That's exactly what I am. So the other way that we can see if this is true or not, that would be to check the other side. Should we do this, guys? I mean, it's always good to have known good waveforms. I mean, the car is running truly. I can probably call that a known good form. Let's rev up the engine at 2000 to see if we have any change. I have the other scanner here. Take this off of here while we're not using it. And I want to do something different too. Hold on one second, guys. Let me pause the video. Alright, I got the scope is still running. We're gonna accelerate the car to like 2000 RPM, 2500 RPM. See if we get any response or changes on that signal. That's a good thing about the Pico. It has a big buffer, so we can know for sure that we have a 3000 in there. Reduce it to 2000, try to keep it steady. Looks like 1900. A little hard. A little rattling under the car. Maybe one of the heat shields or something. That's weird, it was steady idle, and it went down from like 2500 to like 1500. Alright. I'm steady at 2000. See how it went up? I didn't do any changes on the pedal. See if we see anything on the signal different in there. Alright, let's just stop the scope. Let's take a look at those waveforms. I don't see any different. So no difference on the waveform at all. Sorry guys. As you can see, it just gets, together more because it's going faster, but I don't see any major differences. I see a lot of noise in there. Like right here, let me pick up that. Yeah, but that was just aliases. So no, it's a really clean signal. It goes from 0 to 12 almost. So with the car running, we have around 10.91. That's pretty steady. Alright, let's keep this car running, and I'm gonna try to wiggle that connector, see if we see any changes. So I'm gonna keep you guys focused on the scanners, on the oscilloscope itself, see if I don't get my horn burned. Ow. I'm wiggling that connector. Sorry if it shakes the camera. I don't see any difference in there. Oof. So I'm gonna call this a bad cam sensor. I don't see anything wrong with it. We have the code and everything is in there for it. So we got power, we got a good ground and a good signal. So let's call this one as a bad one, and let's get a new one. We're gonna probably get a shot after the repair. Alright guys, let me talk to the customer and see if we get this cam sensor. Okay, just something additional that I wanted to do, just like, to double check the signal from the other side is, okay, I'm right now on the driver's side cam sensor. So I'll put some light here. Okay, so we got ground, just on the cylinder head. Those are also where the sensor grounds are. And I had the yellow wire on the cam sensor pigtail from the back. A little hard to see there. Yeah, it's not going to come out too well, but believe me, I'm in the signal. Well, you're gonna see it on the scope too. And we got the same. It's a 0 to 12, like, a little bit less than 12, but the same pattern. We have also those little spikes in there. So I'm going to call that aliases, because I'm not using the sensor ground. I'm going over to the the block ground. And sometimes when you want to clean the signal more, you're supposed to use the sensor ground, but it's so hard to reach. I don't want to put two pins in there, and it's very hard to do. So I just wanted this, to have this for my own records and for you guys too. So this is a known good signal. Let me change the time base so we can see a little bit more of the signal. Let me also put a trigger, set them automatic. Well, we want to see a little bit higher that. That should be better. That's just so we can see a little bit more of the signal in here. So we have already 15 frames, 18. So let me record the whole 32 frames on this 1 mega sample for division, or sorry, 1 mega sample that I have set up my scope. It's on 50 milliseconds per division, 20 volts. So we reached to 32. Let me stop this right here. Let me turn off the car and let's see that signal. I will also save that for my records. So let's save that for. So an ID code. Now let me. So we know it's a Nissan 2005. It's an automatic transmission. Test conditions, an idle, primary fuel, petrol, 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder. Do we have any configuration? Yes, a B1. It's a 4.0 liter. in Nissan model. Let's pick up the Pathfinder here. And we have the Pathfinder there. Select the label. We're gonna hold for a cam sensor. I can grab that sidebar. I always forget to focus the camera on the screen. Is a little hard sometimes, so let's see if we got the cam. Crank. Oh, probably because I am. It's a cam sensor. This is a Hall effect. And we know that this is a good waveform. I think that's all we need. Let's save and share. So we're gonna save it onto my waveform database, because this is nice. I'm gonna save all of them, and then we can analyze it. So that's perfect. So this looks like a 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1, and then it repeats. So again, it's a 1 2 2 1 1 2 2 1. That is the same form the wheel spec, and again it's a very nice and clean form, 0 to 12 or 11.9. So car is running good right now. It hasn't installed on me, but I just wanted to compare one side to the other one. So this is the same we have from the other cam sensor. So I guess I'm just waiting for the part, replace and run the vehicle to take it for the test drive.